أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل على محمد سيد المرسلين وخاتم النبيين وحجة رب العالمين، المنتجب في الميثاق المصطفى في الضلال المطهر من كل آفة البريء من كل عيب، المؤمل للنجاة المرتجى للشفاعة المفوض إليه دين الله. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك وأناخت برحلك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين وعلى أخته العقيلة عقيلة الطالبين زينب الكبرى وأخيه أبا الفضل العباس ورحمة الله وبركاته. قال الله العظيم في محكم كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولن ترضى عنك اليهود ولا النصارى حتى تتبع ملتهم، قل إن هدى الله هو الهدى ولئن اتبعت أهواءهم بعد الذي جاءك من العلم ما لك من الله من ولي ولا نصير. آمنا بالله. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Due to the last and latest incidents that has happened, briefly, just to shed some light of what's happening around us in this time and age, in the last 24 hours, that many people have asked, many people have said, what is our responsibility? What should we do? What is our action should entail? Do we say anything? Do we keep silent? And of course, there are many things that come forward, and as a Muslim, you should know this. And as a Muslim, a person is responsible when it comes to the events that harms or puts any of other Muslims in harm's way. The ayah that I have recited in Quran al-Kareem, there are many other ayat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the Jews, talks about the Zionists. Of course, Zionists came afterward, as some of the Jews, they claim that we are not Zionists, we are not that, and you should know the difference. In United States, for example, in New York, there is a whole lot of Jews that are against Zionists, against Israel, or what they claim. If you look at the history of this state that they call the State of Israel, unfortunately, from day one, when they started with this, giving the land of the Palestinians to the Zionists, to the Israelis, and that was given by the Great Britain, that the Great Britain at the time, the Prime Minister at the time, Arthur Balfour, he wrote a letter in 1917, November 2nd of it, that in that letter, what he has said, that the Majesty, at that time the King, has agreed and he is pleased to give you this land as if this land belongs to his fathers. We say something like that in Arabic, Kanama Malabu. And in that letter, if you recite it, he says that, I'm just quoting for what he has said, His Majesty government view with favor the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people. And it goes on that this is addressed to Lord Rothschild. In United Kingdom, there is a whole family, and they're very known. They're a very wealthy, very powerful family. But this is it, take it, 1917. And this continued without consulting any of the Muslims, any of the Arabs, promising the Arabs at the time that if you keep silent, we help you to become independent, and we help you to fight the Ottomans in 1917. Hence the movie that was made in Jordan, Lawrence of Arabia. Lawrence of Arabia is that story. And the late king of Jordan, he met his wife, his second wife. She was a British actress. She's the mother of the king now, King Abdullah. Yeah, so that's why you see he is in favor of the Jewish people of Israel, because he has some of the blood of the British in him. Until 1947, 48, this continued, many atrocities, aggression, many violence, killing the innocent, Muslim innocent. One of it was where they killed 250 women, children and men. They stripped them, they photographed them, and they killed them. For the Arabs, the Palestinians, they call this the Nakba. And until today, some of the Zionists, I'm using that word, the Zionist, yes, they say, bring it back. All right, this is something that you know. This is history. And just now, they have bombed, and I wouldn't talk about this, and I don't speak about politics. I don't like to get into politics because I have my views, I have this and that, and everyone has their views when it comes to that. But when you kill children, when you kill pregnant women, when you kill innocent child without any justification, and the number just reached 1,000 just from that bombing of that hospital, Al-Halli Hospital, the Baptist hospital, 1,000 victims. Now, if you see the enemy from one side, I'm not talking about Joe Biden or the United States or United Kingdom or Europe. I'm talking about the Arabs. Where are the Arabs? Where are the Muslims, the so-called Muslims? One of the Palestinians said, look, don't send us flour. Don't send us aid. Where are you? You're all silent. 1.8 billion Muslims are all silent. And we have, unfortunately, some people that are very extreme when it comes to this, and they post many things that they're not relevant, comparing this and that I myself, I dislike. But in the end of the day, you have to speak out. As a Muslim, when you see innocent man and woman being killed anywhere in the world, especially if they are Muslims, 1.8 billion Muslims, one of them tweeted, we are weak. No, you're not weak. That's not the right word. You're not weak. You are coward. You are a coward. That's why it is. The very definition of coward is this, for you to sit silent and you don't say anything, you don't condemn any of these atrocities, any of these barbaric attacks, violent attack on children. And the majority of the victims now are children. A Palestinian mother was teaching her 3-year-old son And that really broke me because he looked very similar to my son. She was teaching him about his father's name. He has broken, Arabic, and she was teaching him as much as possible. This is your father's name, this is your last name, this is your mother's name. So tomorrow, if anything happened, you should remember this. This is what they're teaching them. Some of them, they say, you know what, I will die in my house, and instead of me going to beg another Arab nation, I'm not going to say Muslim nation, Arab nation, for them to open the borders for us to cross it. We don't want to. I die in my karama. So, as a Muslim, we can at least tweet, we can at least post, at least upload, do something with this phone of ours. I can't be sitting silent because we are all responsible. من لم يهتم بأمور المسلمين فليس بمسلم. Now, some people, unfortunately, they come and they compare this to Karbala, and they compare this to Imam al-Hussein. No, this is not the right way to compare. Comparison is not right. And of course, there is the other side. Well, they deserve it. And I received this message today by a dear brother of mine, and I was shocked. After the attack, they deserve it because these are the same people that sent hundreds of people in Iraq to behead the Shia. I said, brother, there are children now. You're talking about children. You come in and tell them, yeah, well, that's their fathers. I said, how do you know? How do you know? How do you pass judgment straight away on a whole group of people, let's say a whole city? Gaza, Gaza now is a prison. 2.5 million prisoners, they live in Gaza. Now you compare it this way, I'm not for it. You compare it like that, I'm not for it. And they deserve it? Is that something a person can say? With that audacity, they deserve it? No, they don't. They don't. IDF, they doing whatever they want with killing the innocent, unfortunately, and we have these so-called Arab leaders, not Muslim leaders, they're all silent. All silent. One of them sent 50,000 dirham from Emirates as aid. What's 50,000 dirham? And the other one sent 20 million dirham. Even 20 million, what's 20 million dirham? You spend more on the horses in your stable. You spend more on the cars that you buy, on your vacations. Now Muslims are dying like this. And where is the 1.8 billion Muslims? And look at what they're doing. Look at what they're doing, the so-called state of Israel, unfortunately. And I link it to the lecture that I intended to talk about that tonight. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. عن الله تبارك وتعالى يا أحمد لولاك لما خلقت الأفلاك اللهم صل على محمد ولولا علي لما خلقتك ولولا فاطمة لما خلقتكما اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. There are many verses in the Holy Book, in Quran al-Kareem, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the holy household, Ahlul Bayt alayhim afdalus salati wa salam, the progeny of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. These verses that are about Fatima al-Zahra salamullahi alayha and her household, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala either specifically he's talking about Lady Fatima herself or in a group. For example, when it comes to Surah Al-Kawthar, that many of the Mufassirin, they believe that Surah Al-Kawthar came down to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam after where a person was mocking Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam that you are abtar, meaning that your lineage will finish with you because you don't have any children, offsprings. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him Fatima al-Zahra salamullahi alayha, and this surah came down. Surah Al-Kawthar, it's a shortest surah in the Quran al-Kareem, but has meanings that are very vast. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inna a'tainaka al-Kawthar. Now, when it comes to the other school of thought, they say Kawthar is a river in the paradise. We believe Kawthar is Fatima al-Zahra and the lineage of Fatima al-Zahra, so all the Sada, yes? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said after that what? إِنَّا أَعْطَيْنَاكَ الْكَوْثَرَ فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ إِنَّ شَانِئَكَ هُوَ الْأَبْتَرُ. Now, Fatima and her lineage. Fatima al-Zahra salamullahi alayha, and Imam al-Hassan al-Mujtaba, and Imam al-Hussein. And of course, after that, the Imams and the Sada. If you look today, the Hassanis, the Hussainis, the Musawis, the Naqavis, the Radawis, they can form the whole, they can form the government for themselves. Yeah. We don't want to have problems like what they have now today, forming a government with a constitution and all that. So we just leave it as it is now. So we form it when the Imam comes, inshallah. The Imam will form the Sayyid's government, the lineage of the Fatima al-Zahra salamullahi alayha. And of course we have Ayat al-Tathir. Ayat al-Tathir is about Fatima al-Zahra, hence the Hadith al-Kisa from Jabir ibn Abdullah al-Ansari, Radwanullah ta'ala alayh, where he said that I heard this from Fatima al-Zahra, روي عن فاطمة الزهراء عن فاطمة الزهراء أنها قالت دخل علي أبي. And you know the Hadith al-Kisa, that it's mustahab to be recited every Tuesday night. Any day if you can, but Tuesday night is a day that we have taken it under our wings, that we recite it as much as possible, inshallah. For qada al-hawa'ij and all that. So that is Hadith al-Kisa, that is connected to إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد. The other school of thought, they come and they say, yes, it's the progeny, but the progeny is all of Bani Hashim. All of Bani Hashim? What do you mean all of Bani Hashim? All of the Hashemites? Yes. All of Hashemites? All of Hashemites, that means Al-Ali, Al-Aqil, Al-Ja'far, and the sons of Abbas ibn Abdul Muttalib, so the Bani Abbas, and well, you have to narrow it down. You can't just do it like that, because we have many of the Abbasides who killed the Hussainis, they killed the Hassanis, they killed Ahlul Bayt, they killed the Imams. So you can't say all of them are what? They are all pure. You can't say they're all infallible. لِيُذْهِبَ عَنْكُمُ الرِّجْسَ أَهْلَ الْبَيْتِ وَيُطَهِّرَكُمْ تَطْهِيرًا. And in addition to that, they say, in addition to that, the wives of the Prophet. The wives of the Prophet. And here they just want to mention two names, or most likely just one. That one name, they want to get her over the border. Yes? They want her to get refuge, and that is Aisha. Yes? And they say, look, it's her. She's also belonging to that. We, as the Shia Athna Ashar, we all due respect, we say, no, sorry, but we don't take that in account. We say only Fatima al-Zahra. Fatima wa abiha wa ba'liha wa baniha. This is another ayah. Then comes to the ayah of the mawaddah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. قُلْ لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا إِلَّا الْمَوَدَّةَ فِي الْقُرْبَةِ. When they came, the Arabs, the Muslims, and they said, Ya Rasulullah, how can we repay you back? Well, here, mawaddah fil qurba. Mawaddah, yes, take care of my family, respect my family, so on and so forth. The other ayat that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran al-Kareem, that is about Fatima al-Zahra salamullahi alayha, or Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi afdalus salatu wassalam, or together, Maraj al-Bahrayni yaltaqiyan. Maraj al-Bahrayni yaltaqiyan, Ali wa Fatima. بينهما برزخ لا يبغيان إمام الحسن إمام الحسين. So Fatima al-Zahra salamullahi alayha, she's a connection. She is the individual that connects prophethood and imamat in one household. That's what she does. And for today, now you might say this is a historical figure. We have her and we respect her in history. But what can I gain from this lady today? Today, you need a lady like that. Yes, in one matter. Today, the society, especially the Western society, that today has the issue with knowing their gender, or coming and saying what is a woman, what is a male, and so on and so forth, male and female. You're going to have another, options you can choose. Like the other day, a person said, I'm neither, I'm a wolf. Yes? Well, that's what you have. Or the other day that someone said, I'm a wealthy person, but this wealthy person is trapped in poor person, so I'm that person. You have to consider me as wealthy. I'm poor. So he's trapped in. And so on and so forth from this nonsense that the Westerners, they have put forward. That you can't even, in some states, in some countries, you can't even question this. You can't even question it. In Queensland has come to this part that if a person comes to the local imam and asks this question or has this fear that I might go that way or that way, and the imam gives him, the imam of the mosque, yes, gives him an advice, that brother, sister, whatever that person is, stay straight, have a family. That person in 20, 30, 40, 50 years' time, they can sue the imam of giving such an advice. Who are you to give such an advice? That's where we have come to this, unfortunately, age, that you need an individual like this. Fatima al-Zahra, salamullah alayha, she's a role model of all what is chastity. That's Fatima al-Zahra. Modesty, that's Fatima al-Zahra. Standing in front of oppression, that's Fatima al-Zahra, salamullah alayha. How is this connected? Fatima al-Zahra, she stood in front of oppression. She is the first of the Shia, you can say. She's the first of the Muwalin. She's the first of the followers of Amir al-Mu'mineen, salamullah alayhi. Fatima al-Zahra stood in front of the second one, especially the second one. Whatever you find today from the problems that we have with Israel, some people, they might get upset from that, but let them get upset. It's because of the second one where he brought in the Jews. Rasulullah specifically said, don't let the Jews come back into Medina. Not just that, he brought back the Jews and he gave the member, this member, to Ka'b al-Ahbar, who was a Jewish rabbi, who allegedly he became what? Muslim. He said, I'm a Muslim. He submitted to Islam. Tfaddal, do the tafsir, do the hukum, do such an, take over. Tfaddal. Here you go. Ka'b al-Ahbar, who was a rabbi, a Jew, started giving tafsir of Quran al-Kareem. And you should thank who for that? The second one. And then, of course, came back that they bring this story, and this is some of his fada'il, some of his virtues when they conquered Jerusalem and he entered Jerusalem. The second one, he mentioned, he said, where are the Jews? They said, well, the Jews are not here. Bring them back. Cannot be Jerusalem without the Jews. So you should thank that person. Now the problems that you have today is because of what we have from him. Lady Fatima al-Zahra, she stood in front of oppression. In front of oppression you should stand. Dhulm and Zalimeen. And of course Imam al-Hassan al-Mujtaba did the same. Imam al-Hussein did the same. All of Ahl al-Bayt. None of Ahl al-Bayt, none of the Imams, they stood back and they said, you know what, it's not in my best interest. I shouldn't be talking. All of them, they stood in front of oppression. And that caused for many of them to be prosecuted, not just the Imams, even the Hashemites, even the Hassanis, the Hussainis, prosecuted, be killed. Zayd ibn Ali, salamullah alayhi, who was killed and crucified and he was burnt. Zayd ibn Ali, the martyr. Zayd, son of Ali ibn al-Hussein, Zayn al-Abidin. So Lady Fatima al-Zahra, salamullah alayha, Quran, and then we said, after Quran is what? Hadith Qudsi. One of them is being this hadith. This is narrated from the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, anillah. Hadith al-Qudsi, the difference between Hadith Qudsi and Quran al-Kareem is what? Quran al-Kareem, this one. Quran al-Kareem, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Quran al-Kareem has said in Quran al-Kareem that you cannot bring any of the surah like Quran al-Kareem. You never ever. Allah has challenged you, dared you. Let's go. Faddal. Go bring a surah like the Quran. This 114 surah in the Quran al-Kareem, not even one surah you can bring. Now this Quran al-Kareem, muttafaq alayh, that means the Shia and the Sunnis, they believe in this Quran al-Kareem. Yes? I hope so, yes. So this is the Quran al-Kareem. The ones that they say, they claim that we are different and we have different Quran and Mus'haf Fatima is our Quran. This is printed in Saudi Arabia and we have even the name of that time it was Fahd. So this is printed in Saudi Arabia. And we have the same Quran. Starting with Surah Al-Fatiha and ending with Surah Al-Nas. This Quran al-Kareem. This is the difference. Hadith al-Qudsi, sometimes you go into it and you say, maybe this is not right because the chains of narration is not right, but it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Hadith al-Qudsi, there is no challenging that you can't bring something like that. Some people, they start challenging, the chain of narrators. One of it being this one, this hadith. The hadith I recited. And this hadith is very important. And Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, this is of course from Rasulullah, from God. So Rasulullah, Jibreel, Allah Azza wa Jal. Hadith Qudsi. Another Hadith Qudsi is Hadith al-Kisa. Hadith al-Kisa is Hadith Qudsi. Hadith Qudsi, that means from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but it's not ayat of Quran. It's a hadith. It's a narration. It's a saying from God the Almighty. So here, Ya Ahmad, لولاك لما خلقت الأفلاك. So that's the first part. ولولا علي لما خلقتك. ولولا فاطمة لما خلقتكما. Some people, they come and say, yes, the meaning of this hadith is what? Now, if someone heard this for the first time, they think what to themselves? Let me ask some of the audience while I have my water. Who here can tell me what this hadith means? صلى على محمد وآل محمد. I like to put the audience under the spotlight. Any idea of what this hadith means? Have you heard of it before? Because this hadith has been narrated many times. This hadith al-Qudsi, this one. لا يا أحمد لولاك لما خلقت الأفلاك ولولا علي لما خلقتك ولولا فاطمة لما خلقتكما. What does it mean? No idea? So the English translation, I'll give you the English translation, yeah. I do apologize, I didn't do that, yeah. So here, this hadith is saying this. For you, Ya Ahmad, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. If it wasn't for you, Ya Rasulullah, I wouldn't create the aflaq, the universe. And if it wasn't for Ali, I wouldn't create you. I wouldn't be creating you. So for Ali, I created you, Muhammad. And for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, I created the universe. And then comes to the third one. And if it wasn't for Fatima, I wouldn't create Ali or Rasulullah. So Rasulullah, universe. Ali, for Rasulullah. So Ali, Allah created. For Ali, Allah created Rasulullah. And for Fatima, Allah created Ali and Rasulullah. So if someone hears that for the first time, he goes, what does it mean? Who is greater than who? Someone is more level up. Because some people, when they hear this, they say, so Fatima is greater than Ali and Rasulullah? Ali is greater than Rasulullah? Because you're saying, what? وَلَوْلَا عَلِي لَمَا خَلَقْتُكَ. If it wasn't for Ali, I wouldn't create you, Ya Rasulullah. So this is some of what some people think. And if I recited this for you, you might say the same thing. Now I gave you the English translation. Can you dissect this differently? Can you say, for Fatima, he created the two, so Fatima is greater than the two? Is that the meaning of this hadith? Can Fatima be greater than Ali and Rasulullah? Of course not. Rasulullah is greater than anyone else. خاتم الأنبياء والمرسلين خير البشر. Amir al-Mu'min sallallahu alayhi himself said, he said to one of the companions when he asked him, are you greater than Musa? He said, yes, it's a lengthy hadith, very nice hadith. He said, why are you greater than Musa? He gave the explaining of that why he's greater than Musa, and then he's greater than Ibrahim, greater than Isa, and to Rasulullah. He said, are you greater or Rasulullah? He said, wayhak. That means, woe unto you. أنا عبد من عبيد محمد. Meaning what? That I'm a servant to Rasulullah. And that was Imam Ali. Imam Ali said, I used to follow Rasulullah like the she-camel follows its mother. The she-camel is always behind the mother. That's what Imam Ali said. So how do you explain this hadith? The best explanation of this hadith is this. And there is another hadith from Rasulullah that explains this, but let me explain it in this matter. So when he says, Ya Ahmad, لولاك لما خلقت الأفلاك. So Allah created this universe for who? For human beings. Yes? And Allah created the human beings to do what? Worship. Ahsan. Well done. Allah created the human beings to do what? Worship. Lil-ibadah. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ibadah can be any ibadah. Can you make your own way of ibadah? No. Allah sends a dalil. Dalil means what? A guidance. Someone who guides you. Someone who teaches you the ibadah. And the guide, we know them as prophets. And the Khatamul Anbiya of all these prophets is Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So if you look into that, you see Allah created the universe for human beings. Allah created the human beings to do ibadah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teaches the human beings the ibadah through the prophets. The best of all of the prophets is Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. So you see the connection? You understand now? Yes? So can that be verified that Allah created the universe for Rasulullah? Yes? Yes. Then, now you say, okay, I understand that. What about Ali? Because here he says, وَلَوْلَا عَلِي لَمَا خَلَقْتُكَ. If it wasn't for Ali, I wouldn't be creating you. You go back to Ghadir. Because after the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, who's Khatamul Anbiya, Khairul Bashar, Rasulullah needs a vicegerent, a wasi, an imam, a khalifa. Yes? So we go back to that. Rasulullah has to pass on the message for him to continue with it. Islam is complete, but someone has to explain it. Hence the hadith of ثقلين إني تارك فيكم ثقلين كتاب الله وعترتي أهل بيتي ما إن تمسكتم بهما لن تضلوا بعدي أبدا. So now غدير يا أيها الرسول بلغ ما أنزل إليك من ربك وإن لم تفعل فما بلغت رسالته. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to the Prophet of God when he was coming back from the Hajj, yes, Allah said to him, Ya Rasulullah, Allah sent Jibreel, Ya Rasulullah, now is the time for you to finish this message. What do I need to do? You are getting close to Ghadir Khum. Tell everyone to come back. Whoever went back to, going back to Yemen, to Iraq, some of them that have gone before you to Medina, tell them to come back. So Rasulullah sent messages, sent envoys, come back, come back, come back. Rasulullah went to Ghadir Khum, the pound of Ghadir. 110,000 Muslims, they stood up there. And when it comes to the Sunnis, they say, yes, 110,000. Why? Because Rasulullah wanted to tell them what? That be friend of Ali. Be friend of Ali. Because there was a dispute between Ali and Saifullah al-Maslul. I don't want to mention his name. Khalid ibn Walid. You might say, why? Because Khalid ibn Walid, he himself had a son who was with Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib. He himself, his son, he was against his father, Abdul Rahman. Abdul Rahman bin Khalid, he was with Amir al-Mu'min and he was against his father. So they come up with this nonsense. They come up with this fabricated story. Anyway, he took Imam Ali's hand, raised it up, Man kuntu mawla fa'ada aliyun mawla, Allahumma wali man wala, wa'adi man ada, wansur man tansar. After all of that finished, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends another ayah. اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا وجعل علي إماما ليستمر لهداية الأمة. So Ali was for that reason. Now you understand the connection? Now you say Fatima. The lineage of Ali comes from who? The Imams, they come from who? The Imams, they come from Fatima al-Zahra salamullahi alayha. If it wasn't for Fatima al-Zahra salamullahi alayha, we don't have Imam al-Hassan, Imam al-Hussein, Imam al-Sajjad, Imam al-Baqir, Imam al-Sadiq, Imam al-Kadhim, Imam al-Rida, Imam al-Jawad, Imam al-Hadi, Imam al-Askari, Imam al-Hujja salamullahi alayhi. They are all sons of Fatima. That's why Imam Hassan al-Askari says, كلنا حجج الله على الخلق وأمنا فاطمة حجة علينا. اللهم صل على. وجعل من فاطمة الزهراء الأئمة عليهم السلام ليستمروا بنهج محمد وعلي إلى قائم آل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل. Now, there is a hadith that also clarifies this, and it's a beautiful hadith from Imam al-Hussein. Imam al-Hussein says, this is hadith from Imam al-Hussein from the Prophet, عن الحسين ابن علي ابن فاطمة سلام الله عليهم عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم قال: فاطمة بهجة قلبي وأبناها ثمرة فؤادي وبعلها نور بصري والأئمة من ولدها ومناء ربي وحبله الممدود بينه وبين خلقه من اعتصم به نجا ومن تخلف عنه هوى. The Ummah today, the 1.8 billion Muslim, they are silent because they left someone who was against the oppression. That's why you see them today silent. That's what they learned from their khulafa. That's what you learn. Oh, this is a problem we have. Can you fix it? No. Can't fix it. You can't. And they will never talk. They get upset. Wallah, this king of Jordan, he cancelled on Biden, and they come with this, oh, he cancelled, really? Believe me, he called him and he apologized. I'm so sorry, but if I have to keep the tensions down. I don't want to have issues with you coming here. And I do apologize. Here are a couple of billions of dollars. Don't get upset. We have to cancel on you. Never ever, if you go read the headlines, go into the story of many of other presidents, when they do a visit to any other countries, it takes them weeks they have to prepare. Biden, in the first time in the history of the United States, Biden decided to go visit a country without any preparation. Now he's in Tel Aviv, kissing the hands of Netanyahu and those people. And the Arabs, they are silent because they learned this from the khulafa, their khulafa. But these imams that we have, they don't sit silent in the face of any oppressors. No. Of course, Imam al-Hujjah, salamullah alayhi. Imam al-Hujjah today, he sees what's happening, and he sees the oppression. He sees the oppression. And don't come here and draw the line, saying, well, these people, they are nasabis, and I'm talking about children. I'm not going into so much detail saying fulan and fulan and fulan. I'm talking about children. What's the crime of a child? Tell me, what's the crime of a child? Doesn't understand anything. Now, your own self, you have a child, look at it. Would you let a child to be in such a situation? Definitely not. So this is a hadith Qudsi. And then comes to a hadith, and I conclude with that. There are hadith, of course, numerous of a hadith. There are numerous ahadith about Fatima al-Zahra salamullah alayha, and I conclude with that because there are many of them. I don't want to go through all of them. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Salli ala Muhammad. So, for example, this hadith was asked from Imam Ja'far ibn Muhammad al-Sadiq salamullah alayhi an Fatima لما سميت زهراء فقال لأنها كانت إذا قامت في محرابها زهر نورها لأهل السماء كما يزهر نور الكواكب لأهل الأرض. اللهم صل على. Another hadith, this is a famous one, you all heard of this hadith. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم فاطمة بضعة مني من سرها فقد سرني ومن ساءها فقد ساءني فاطمة أعز الناس علي. They bring this hadith in Sahih Bukhari. They mention this hadith. And then a couple of pages, they talk about the attack on the house of Fatima. I will be speaking about this tomorrow night. They talk about the attack. They say, yes, the attack happened. And he said, the second one to Fatima al-Zahra, the dearest person to our hearts, O Fatima, is Rasulullah, your father. And you are second. But because this is in the best interest of the ummah and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have to attack. So he knows what he has to do right. Subhanallah. Like Mufti Meng says, Subhanallah. Yeah. Another Mufti. عن الله تبارك وتعالى يا أحمد لولاك لما خلقت الأفلاك. Let me recite this one again. It's a beautiful hadith. ولولا علي لما خلقتك ولولا فاطمة لما خلقتكما. And then it says the other hadith, and this is the last one, and I conclude with that. عن النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم لو كان الحسن شخصا لكان فاطمة بل هي أعظم إن فاطمة ابنتي خير أهل الأرض عنصرا وشرفا وكرما. اللهم صل على محمد وعجل فرجه. But when you have people being silent at the attack of so-called khulafa on the house of Fatima al-Zahra salamullahi alayha, and they come with hundreds of fabricated ahadith justifying that, don't expect them today to condemn any attacks on the Arab Muslim world. So when you're silent about that, it's 100 times more horrifying barbaric attack on the house of Fatima al-Zahra that led to the attack on Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib. After that, Imam al-Hassan, and after that to Karbala and Ashura. The Imam al-Hassan puts it beautifully. La yawm ka yawmika ya Aba Abdullah. Started with who? Started with Fatima al-Zahra salamullah alayha. And we're getting close to the Ayyam of Fatimiyya. Attend this majalis, be in the majalis, learn as much as possible about Fatima al-Zahra and connect the dots. Because some of the youth, they come in saying, this is not relevant to me, this happened many years ago. No, it's relevant. Because you see today you see the oppression. Today you see a tyrant. Today you see there are people trying to justify their crimes. And this brings you back. Where did this whole thing start? Started there. And we had many people that stood up against this oppression, and gladly they gave their lives. And we're waiting for the Imam to come, the Imam of our time. When the Imam comes, will any of these crimes continue? Definitely not. The Jews, they come up with this, they say, Hashim will come, Hashim. I have a son, his name is Hashim, and I was thinking, Hashim, who's Hashim? And I found out the Hashim is one of the great-grandfathers. They believe he's a muntaqim, he's the avenger. Well, of course, even if Hashim comes, if that Hashim that you claim comes, he will come after Imam al-Hujjah, he will pray behind Imam al-Hujjah, and he will take the avenge of all of the innocent from you. But of course, today, this will continue if the Ummah, the so-called Muslim Ummah, the 1.8 billion Muslims, they wake up. And they were always been silent. When the Quran was burnt, they were silent. Even today, this person, the Iraqi individual in, where is it, Sweden? In Sweden, he burned the Quran 3 times. I think he burnt the 4th time this last week. The same person. Burning the Quran, I don't know, 1.8 billion Muslims, none of them can go there and take care of him? Really? None? They can't do anything? This is our book. This is a holy book. Everyone is quiet. SubhanAllah, I don't understand what's going on. We fume, we sit down, we go, what's going on? Why aren't you talking? Now, if you go to see the images of the attack, of the recent attack on the hospital, now you might say, I'm pro-Iran, I'm against Iran, I'm with Hezbollah, I'm not with Hezbollah, I'm with Hamas, not with... Habibi, just look at these children. Just put that aside, all of that. Be human for a second. Look at these children. Why are you killing children? Go really fight the soldiers if you really want to take care of this. Why are you killing the children, the innocent people? And we all wait for the Imam to come to avenge, inshaAllah, the innocent. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم كل وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا يا رب الحسين بحق الحسين اشف صدر الحسين بظهور الحجة. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج، اللهم عجل فرجه، سهل مخرجه، اجعلنا من أنصاره وأعوانه يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعل عواقب أمورنا خيرا. يا الله يا رحمن يا رحيم يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلبي على دينك. الفاتحة قبلها الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.